I have been trying to get into voice acting since I was in my early 20s. But to get into that industry is tough. I didn't really get into it until probably 2013 or 14. I started to do commercials. The most inspiring part was not having at any point to argue with the writers or directors about how I wanted to portray a Black woman. I love that Mel kept her boundaries. Mel is very obviously tried to create a chosen family. She really does always try to do what is going to be best for everybody. And I think it's because she feels like she was mistreated and abandoned. Black girl magic is real. And Mel
100%.
personifies that.
Every once in a while, a project comes and shakes the scene up, leaving audiences wanting more. In 2021, Arcane introduced us to a world of the magic filled with flawed characters and fabulous talent. My guest today brought elegance, grace, and wit to the world of Arcane as the ever-lovely Mel Medarda. In addition to Nanefua and StevenUniverse, Mrs. Beakley in Ducktales, Gontaga and Tales of the Jedi, Countess Cleo and Carmen San Diego, Zamifer in Castlevania, and has appeared numerous times on camera, including in Frasier as Oliver Finch and The Rookie as Fiona Ryan. Whether it's behind the mic or in front of the camera, with 90 acting credits to her name, quality isn't a promise, it's guaranteed. Welcome to Jantmore Interviews. I'm your host, Josh, aka Jantmore. Help me welcome acting extraordinaire, Toks Olagundoye. There we go. Yay.
Well done. What an amazing introduction. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Did I say how do you say your last name?
Olagundoye, you said it.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure I got it right. Names are very important to me. One of my voice acting friends said his mom used to tell him that there's no sweeter sound than someone saying your own name. It's like you see me, you validate my own existence. And I was like, you know what? Hell yeah. Like that's
right.
But thank you so much for joining me today. It's such an honor, and I hope to make a great show for you here today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You had such an amazing, lengthy career, but I want to start at the very beginning. Toks, being little Toks, born in Laos, Nigeria. I want to start there because you have two wonderful cultures within you. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but your mother is Nigerian and your father is from Norway?
Other way around. Father's Nigerian, mother's from Norway. Hey, close enough.
So sorry about that.
No
but
worries.
Yes, with you having this mixing pot of culture around you, how would you say that's helped you make the artist we all know and love today?
Ooh, wow. I would say that both sides ensure that I'm never going to stop going for what I want. Try and tell a Nigerian, no, it's never going to happen. With the Norwegian side, we very similarly, we always find a way around under to get where we want. That said, I didn't think I wanted to be an actor until I was, I don't know, maybe 19, 18, 19. I didn't know. So I was following a completely different trajectory. But yeah, I would say there's a lot of consideration on both sides, a lot of hard work. There's a lot of community and respecting those around you. And, your name is everything. Making sure that there is honor around your name is everything. You do what you say what you do, you show up ready, you respect everybody.
That's beautiful. That's such a beautiful thing to have. I've been following your social media page, and it's just been so amazing to see you spread light on so many causes, so many people, so many fans. I mean, I've seen some incredible and stunning fan art just because you share it. It's just so amazing to see the Arcane fandom or so many other fandoms just come together and appreciate the talent that you bring to these franchises. It's just amazing to see you reciprocate that love, and not only just for the fans and the work that you do, but for just so many people in so many different communities. It's just so inspiring, you know. I wanted to ask this question because this question is very personal to me. I know you're a breast cancer survivor, and one of my best friends uh, has had to go through chemo twice,
Mm.
and that is such a hard thing to watch. And I've asked him multiple times, and he talks about it himself, about what that experience was and what that experience did to him, and how he feels like a part of him was lost with that
Mm.
experience. And I'm curious, what was your experience with that diagnosis, surviving it, and what is your mindset like post going through that?
Yeah, it's, I mean, it's not easy, but it is very difficult for most people. And for some reason, it was not difficult for me. It was definitely difficult for everyone around me, yeah, for everyone I loved
I would
and who
imagine.
loves me, to watch it and try to take care of me. I worked most of the time. And my work makes me so happy. I have a little boy who makes me so happy. My
Blessings.
husband is insanely supportive and he really showed up, my family, my friends. So I really just felt held and blessed and very lucky to have found the cancer early, because the kind I have, if you find it later, you, you're done. So I, most of the time, I was overwhelmed by thinking of people who are in the same position who did not have all the blessings that I had, even just like health insurance, someone to take care of the kids, money in a savings account, and so I was very open that I had it. I would let people know, especially if I was going into a job, because I thought that was the fair thing to do. And then I I decided I wanted to dedicate the rest of my life to shining a light on why it's important to take care of your health in general, why it's important to find these things early, why you need to advocate for yourself, especially if you are a minority. Find a healthcare provider you like because they work for you. And if you can't do that, you find someone bossy who does it for you.
100%. Wiser words couldn't be said, and you've been blessed with so much in your life. And when I start getting into those blessings, the blessing of acting, what you've done, and from my research and seeing what you bring to these roles, is just, it's inspiring. I really, well, of course, we're going to talk about Mel, but it's not just Mel. I didn't even know you were in Star Wars. I thought that was like the coolest thing. I'm such a huge Star Wars nerd. And a lot of those roles come from animation, voice acting, and video games. So I'm curious, as someone who's had a beautiful on-camera career, how did you get introduced into this wonderful, wacky world of voice acting?
I have been trying to get into voice acting since I was in my early 20s, which is almost 30 years now. So I wanted to do it forever, but to get into that industry is tough, really hard. And I didn't really get into it. I would do like little things here and there for people, like friends, but I didn't really get into it until probably 2013 or 14. I started to do commercials. And then I was I got a really great voiceover agent, probably my fifth or sixth voiceover agent, and they really got me. And I I feel like the first thing I probably booked was StevenUniverse, I think, and then Ducktales. And I think it was, initially because they needed a Ghanaian voice. And I mean, I'm Nigerian, but I modeled Nanefua's voice after my grandmother's voice. And that got me in the door. And after that, I was lucky enough to get the auditions. And then once I got the great work, once you're in, especially if you're reliable and respectful and and it's just I've been so lucky ever since. And also, when the pandemic started, my agent, who is a very clever man, said, "Can you build a studio in your house?" I said, "Done." And because I had a studio in my house, because we had to finish Arcane, there were a couple of things I was working on. There was more Ducktale stuff to do. I was working on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and something else, but Arcane was the big one that we really had to finish. And so he was like, "Get that done." And because I did, there were so many other jobs where they needed people who could do it remotely. And so I booked so much work because of that. And from that work, more work. And so, yeah.
Well, I want to get into one of my favorite voice acting roles of yours, and it's mainly because of what you do vocally. I'm such a nerd with this stuff. It is, and I'm really bad with pronouncing names, so please correct me. But is it Carnan in Middle Earth Shadow of War?
Carnan, yeah.
Carnan.
Mhm.
That role is so wonderful. I love what you do vocally for that role. So I'm
Thank you.
curious, could you talk about bringing that character to life, and where does that voice even come from? Where does it sit? Is it more in your chest? Is it in your head? Break it all down for me. I'm trying to nerd out here.
Yeah, so I got this breakdown and I heard that they'd been looking for the character for a really long time. And so I just read what the character was. I don't tend to look at the part of the notes where they say what they want the voice to sound like. I look at the description of the actual character, I look at the size, and this character, they are so tied to nature and they shapeshift. So the shapeshifting part obviously to me meant that they are ethereal and magical and otherworldly, and therefore she sort of sits there to make it, unless she's getting loud. Well, I should say, she's not really a they shaped it. And when the character gets loud, it would come more from my belly. But the accent, because when I saw the description, I just thought, goddess Mother Earth, really, which makes me think of Freya, which, is a Norwegian goddess. And so it's a take on a Norwegian accent with like a little bit of a British underlying tone to it. Um, and I mean, it's weird. It's a strange voice, but it seemed to be what they were looking for, and it was a really fun project because it was one of those mocap things where they put all the stuff all over you, and you get to move around and do all the body work and everything. It was fantastic. I really had a great time on that one.
I love to hear that. For me, what you do with that character is the peak of what voice acting is, right? Just having fun and creating these wonderful characters vocally, but breathing so much life into them in such a fun and creative way. I really love that. Like when I was researching your resume and stuff, that one just like floored me. I was just, and I'm not just saying that because you're here. I was just like, whoa, what the? this is
Thank you. I
coming.
appreciate that because I loved doing that character. That is one that I did a lot more work on than I usually do. I'm one of those actors who I kind of do like whatever, when I read the description, whatever hits me is kind of what I do. And then I go in and I listen very carefully to the directors because like the directors know what they want, and I do not have a director's mind. I love a director. So I appreciate that. I was doing a panel yesterday with the Arcane folks, and
Loved it. I loved it, by the
oh,
way.
did you? Oh, thank you for being there. JD Blank is, I mean, he's the be all end all when it comes to voice acting. And he did say yesterday, he doesn't like the term voice acting. It's acting, and it's true. The good voice actors are actors. People think, oh, I could do this voice, I could do that voice, but you have to be able to sit in the character and find your truth, right? That's how a performance works. You find how you can truthfully do that character. So, yeah.
As other voice actors have put it so eloquently, it's little V, big A, right? It's very
Right.
much an emphasis. It's very much an emphasis on the acting. You know, you can
Yes.
make kooky voices and do impersonations of Scooby Doo or whatever the heck, but if you
Right.
cannot breathe life into these characters, if you cannot create an authentic connection with this character, then
Yeah.
you failed at your job. I feel like a lot of the times when on-camera personalities come to the voice acting world, I feel like there's a disconnect a lot of the times because of that fact, and they're relying on so many pre-existing things on the on-camera world. Because with on camera you could wink, or you could do a little nudge, or you could
Hmm.
like shape your face and really play with it,
That's right.
and people could see it. But with voice acting, all of that personality, all of that breath,
The
all of that
emotion.
yeah, emotion, it comes from deep inside of you. And like you said, some of the best are just so great with that and can really
Yeah.
breathe
And most
life
of the
into
best
it.
come from theater.
Yeah,
Same
I
with
was about
on
to
camera as well. You
say.
know, there are shows that I've done where people have been great, but then there's some I've done where I'm like, oh, wow, this is next level. And it's because when you come from a theater background, it's just different.
It really is. It's a very different discipline. Voice actors either come from theater or they're like comedians. A lot of
Yes.
comedians also tend to do
Well,
a
I mean,
lot
and
of fun
comedians,
stuff.
like, they start in stand-up comedy for the most part, and that is basically theater. You're out there in front of a live audience. You got that one chance to get it right. It's, you know.
I want to break down and go back to what you were saying about your booth. I'm so curious. Could you describe what your booth looks like to me? Another thing I love talking about.
So right now, I don't have one, because we
Oh,
broke it. We were doing some work on the house, so we broke it down. We're going to rebuild a better one. But in my first home that I had one in, it was literally a half bathroom. And I took all the pillows, extra pillows and duvets that I had, and I literally nailed them to the wall. And I got a bunch of moving blankets and nailed those on top of the pillows and the duvets. And that was my studio. And then the second time round, we moved years and years back. Um, Initially, it was basically a closet, and I got stuff that was a little more professional, like soundproofing stuff that I stuck to the walls and the ceiling and the floor. But then again, I used probably like four moving blankets on top of one another all around, and that was it. And now we've dismantled that, and we're going to do something that's a lot more professional. But yeah, you don't really need much. Most people, when they do it from home, do it in their closets.
yeah, like pull their closets down and, like you said, put in that like foam and
Oh,
stuff.
not even.
Yeah.
They literally use their
Clothes.
clothes
Yeah, that as
as,
well.
yeah. So they
Yeah.
just literally stand in their closet. Yeah.
It's so amazing. I love the science behind voice acting as well as like how that stuff works. You know, I've done a ton of voice acting stuff myself, and a lot of the times I do step into a more enclosed environment. It's just so interesting to hear what it sounds like in comparison to when I do it next to
Yes.
all of my figures and stuff, and in my like closet where it's like very isolated and you can hear, and
Yeah.
it's very personal, and I love it. Although I will say I do hate taking out my heavy boxes from the closet to record. It is the worst
I know. It's
thing.
like you want to just be able to step in there and do it.
Yes, perfectly
Yeah,
said. But all the best work takes hard work and dedication.
that's true.
And if I have to take boxes out of my closet for the rest of my life to give you a good product, hell, yeah, I'll do
That's right.
it.
You gotta put that sweat into your art.
Absolutely. Speaking of sweat into your art, you've worked with a lot of pre-existing franchises. Of course,
A
with
lot.
a lot Frasier, Star Wars. I want to talk about Ducktales, transition to Ducktales a little bit. That I have to hear about your experience with that, because that cast is amazing. I've seen you've taken some pictures with the cast as well. And I'm curious, using Ducktales as an example, what is was before getting ahead of myself, I apologize, but did you group record for that? Did you get to record with them in the studio?
Not even one time.
What?
Not even one time. So the boys, I believe, recorded together a few times, but the rest of us did not. We never did. And David was in the UK for most of it. I never recorded with any of them. We've done a lot of conventions together, and I adore every single one of those people. They are wonderful people. Many of them I've been fortunate enough to form friendships with, and they're all doing very well in the industry, which I'm happy about because it's nice to see talented, good people do well in this industry. But yeah, I mean, we have a lot of fun together. If you've ever seen any of the footage of us at any of the conventions, we have a lot of fun together. So I do have to say, I wonder if we had done it together, if we would have even gotten anything done because we goof off so much.
That's the number one thing I hear about group records, is just that fun bouncing off of each other's energy. So my
Yes.
question was, of course, with you, so we're gonna talk about your on camera work, I guess, with this, but why do you believe it's important for art to be collaborative? Right, like a lot of the times you have directors and producers, and it really does take a village to make all of the projects that you are so blessed to be a part of. So I'm curious, why do you feel like it's such an important aspect of the artistic process for it to be so collaborative?
I mean, the practical reason, of course, is because most people don't excel at everything. Of course, every now and then you'll find someone who can do absolutely everything perfectly, but that's very rare. And so, if you want a project to be as good as it can be, you get a phenomenal writer, you get a phenomenal producer. They get together, they work on that script, they find that money, and then they find the people to do those roles. And then they find a director who understands the project and understands how to convey the way it needs to be to actors. However, also, I think that the best directors also like to see a little bit of what the actor brings. And so there you have that collaboration. And also, you have all the designers, you have the people who are doing your clothes, your hair, your makeup, the lights, the sets. And the beauty of it is each and every different human being is understanding the project and understanding where we're going with it, but bringing their own little piece of what they do really well to it to elevate it and make it even better than anyone knew it could be. Right. And, so I love walking in and seeing, when you get asked, oh, is there anything you won't wear? Is it? And I'll say, not really. Like, let me see what the character's going to be. And usually, I can only think of one time that I thought they got it wrong. Usually, I'm like, oh, great, they've informed me what the characters doing, who they are a little bit more by what they saw, and then same with hair and makeup. I like to see what they're thinking, and if it's really opposite from what I'm thinking, we'll collaborate. I'm not one of those people who walks in and has it all like this is how it's got to be, because I know that my strength is the acting portion and everyone else is there because of their strength. And then there's the beauty of being around the other actors, and yeah, you've memorized your lines, but you don't really know how it's going to come at you. And the really good actors listen and they respond in that moment to what they're getting. So you can prepare it any way you want, but you still have to bounce it off the person in a way that shows you're listening, because that's what we do in real life. So when you have those really magical projects, it's because that puzzle is complete. There's no wrong pieces. They've not been put together incorrectly, and there's no missing pieces. It's all been put together perfectly. That's when things really are magic. And, some of the more magical projects that I thought were the better ones also, I mean, the Frasier writing room, for instance, there was not one demographic missing from that room. So, it was magic because people are bringing their own completely unique experiences and ideas of how we walk through the world. I remember the first episode, I remember looking at the background players, and almost all of them were white at Harvard. And I was like, that's not what Harvard looks like these days. It's just not, you know? And so then, you get to the writers that of color get to be like, actually, there's a lot of us at Harvard now, so it's like that kind of stuff. And also, what the most important ingredient is that everyone there is open to the collaboration. No one is like, no, 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 it's this way or no way. Everyone's collaborating and listening to make it the best it can be.
Such a beautiful answer, and thank you for that, because that is what really draws me to the arts as well, is that collaborative effort. And that, okay, but what about this? Look at it this way, that perspective, those different diverse perspectives, not only in race and ethnicity and culture and stuff, but also in ways how to do stuff technically. I recently released a short film, and it was a really fun, yeah, it was a really fun
Congrats.
experience.
Well done.
Thank you so much. And it was a really fun experience for me, because not only did I write and direct it, but my friends who had been doing it way longer than me were like, hey, Josh, this is a good idea, but look at it this way and let's do it this way. And I was like, oh, okay, I never thought of it. And it came out way better than I had written it. And that's such a beautiful part of the arts. I know a lot of people are like, have egos sometimes about this stuff, and you really have to view this stuff egoless,
Yeah.
so you could be open to the possibilities to making a better, fuller project. And
I
I'm
mean, if
so
you already think you're perfect, why are you still doing it? If you don't want to learn, if you don't want to get the thrill of, I never thought about that. Oh my God, that's going to be so great to do it that way.
yeah,
Why are you doing it?
absolutely. I ask that question all the time. I'm like, sometimes my friends will tell me about bad experiences they have on set. I'm like, how could you come on set and just be so like, like, yeah, I don't
It's
even.
not great. I've definitely been on set, especially as a guest actor, and felt like, oh God, I better just do what I do quickly and get out of everybody's way. We very purposely on Frasier made an effort. It didn't matter who you were, if you were visiting cast, even if you had one line, we were like, please come in the green room, come hang out with us. You're our equal. You were hired for this just like we were. It doesn't matter that we're series regulars and you've got two lines. You are an actor on our show. And it works so much better when everybody feels like they belong, knows that they're wanted there and they're valued. Why wouldn't you want to make people feel like that so you can all have a good time? Then it's fun when everyone's having a good time.
Absolutely. And one franchise that comes to mind that there's so many fans and it's so collaborative is Star Wars. Gotta talk about Tales of the Jedi. Really fun anthology series that Disney was putting out there for a little bit there. Had a ton of fun with that. I'm curious, how were you approached for this role, and what's your history with Star Wars? Was this just another audition, or did they reach out to you directly for it?
Gosh, do you know I don't remember. I feel like I was directly reached out to because I think I'd worked with the director on something else or something. I honestly don't remember. Um, but I recorded it in my little studio during the pandemic and I was thrilled. I have not really been a Star Wars watcher of late, but those original three are a huge part of my childhood. Huge part of my childhood. I watched them over and over and over again, especially Return of the Jedi. So I'm to be a part of that universe is God, it's thrilling,
And the animation is just so incredible. It's
gorgeous.
breathtakingly stunning. Speaking about animation, Arcane, man, I I feel like it's disrespectful to talk about Arcane and not mention how beautiful it looks. You know,
It
like
is. It's there's nothing like it. There's
it's
nothing like it.
so breathtakingly astonishing, and it's so funny. My friend Jason Spizak, who plays Silco, had
I
interviewed
love
him.
Jason.
He's great. He's wonderful. It's so awesome because I interviewed him a few months before the show came out. So I was just watching it for him. I was like, oh, what is Arcane? I don't even. And when I tell you, I was hooked from the first episode.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
was hooked from the
They,
first episode. I I have to say, like, I've watched some of the animation I've done, but I don't really watch a lot of animation unless you count what I watch with my kid, who's 5. But
oh,
this show, I watched the pilot. So the original pilot was very different, and I watched it after I think I'd worked like maybe 1 or 2 VO sessions. This was right before the pandemic. And I went to the Riot Games campus and they sat me down in one of their cinemas and they showed it to me. And I remember thinking, oh no, this is really amazing. Oh no, they've made a horrible mistake. I don't think I can live up to this. Like, I remember just being like, and I remember also hearing JB's voice. JB is, I'm such a huge fan of his. And I remember hearing it and being like, oh my God, JB, thanks. Oh God. Like, it just like it. I thought it was good to begin with, but then I really raised the bar for me. Like, just that whole like watching experience. I was like, ooh. And I realized, I went home to my husband and I was like, okay, so this thing I'm working on is real special. Like, it's going to be real special. I've never seen anything like this. And yeah, it was. I mean, listen, there's no mistake that it knocked Squid Game off the top. And, Squid Game was like hanging in there. And then we were like, bye, So, yeah, it's so good.
I remember seeing the news of it taking off Squid Game, and I was like,
Yeah.
clock it, clock it, clock it. Yeah. I was like, deserved, beyond deserved. I love
So
this
good.
world. I love where the story went. Season 2 was so good. Oh my.
And we had the privilege of watching the first 3 during the premiere with a good sized live audience, and then the last 3 with a gigantic live audience. And it was such a gift to hear fans in real time cheering characters on and reacting to certain moments that happened and laughing at places you didn't expect them to laugh. And my God, this fandom, I adore the Arcane fandom.
I do too. I'm so sorry. Can you I'm so sorry. My mom just texted me. I'll be back in like a few seconds. I'm so sorry.
Take your time. I'm so old. I don't know how to do any of these things. You guys will get on and hang out.
So sorry.
No, please don't be. I was looking at the comments.
Okay, good. Because I had to get my brother, and I was like, you know what? We'll finish the interview in time. I'm gonna get him, and he came a little bit later, and I was like, okay, I'll still get him.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't. Please don't.
I feel terrible, just like mindlessly listening to a podcast in my yard gardening. Oh God, so embarrassing.
No, don't.
ADHD. Sorry.
Me and you both, sis. Come on, like I completely understand. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, my attention span is so like, sometimes it's like so frustrating. Like, I'll be editing these interviews and I'll just like be so distracted, and I'll just be like, oh, is someone texting me? Wait, someone has to be texting me, or like I just like doom scroll. It's like, oh, it's a whole thing.
Oh, I get it. Or the other way around, where you're like, I'll just edit for 20 minutes, and like 4 hours later, you're like, oh, I guess I was hyperfixating. Oops. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, 100%. Okay, we're talking about Arcane. Okay. So Arcane is such an interesting project to me because I'd spoken to the voice of Shula, Marie Junelle. Love her so much. She's wonderful. And she talked about how she had been working on this project since like 2015, 2016. So this
Mhm.
project has been way in the works. And I know you joined a little bit
A
later.
lot
So,
later. A lot later. I didn't come in until 2019.
wow.
They had a full pilot done before they even thought about me. Yeah.
What was the pilot like? Did the pilot become the first episode, or was there like differences?
There were, I mean, from the pilot that I saw to the pilot that they then released, very different. The main gist was the same. The very beginning, well, the main gist was the same. Um, but they fine tuned it so well. And for a company to spend that much time on money to create an absolutely perfect pilot and then make it even better, I have so much respect for them.
That first episode is such a perfect introduction to the world. I
Mm.
mean, we start off guns blazing. We're in the what's the underworld called? Y'all are gonna eat me up for this. It's starts with a
So,
V. Zon, there we
so,
go. Oh my God, yes. Have
so,
mercy. But
yeah,
we start with the enforcers just tearing up Zon, and it's like so crazy how realistic and how real the world of Arcane is.
yeah,
Man, it's there's a reason why this fandom is so in love with it because it's just so real. Some of the best art is just
yeah.
so real and so personable. But I want to talk about your first scene as Mel. I feel like that was such a phenomenal way to introduce the character. And, I've been promoting this interview by saying elegance and grace. And I feel like that's such a perfect descriptor for what Mel Medarda brings to the world. What is your favorite thing about Mel's design? Because I'm not
Ooh.
gonna lie, like she is beautiful. Like I look at that design and I'm like, how did you do that?
I know. I think the hair.
Yes.
I think the hair just, I love seeing black hair on a character who's black. You know, we do have characters of color from other shows, but a lot of time they're really white looking, you know, and that's not really going to do it. You know, we need to let, I mean, yes, young people, but all people of color know that our hair is beautiful. The way that we traditionally wear it and do it is beautiful. Our noses are beautiful. Our skin color is beautiful. Our brown eyes are beautiful. Like, you know, we've been so programmed to believe that, like, you know, blonde is the more beautiful thing. Green eyes or blue eyes are more beautiful. And, you know, blowing your hair out and having it straight is more beautiful. And it's not that those things aren't beautiful, they are, but they're not the most beautiful. Nothing is the most beautiful.
That's
It's
not the only thing
all
out there.
beautiful, you know? So I just love that. And then when Ambessa came on, it just, oh, next leveled it, man. So good.
I love how all the characters look, and I love the attention to detail for black characters in this.
Yeah.
I think is just so stunning and is the blueprint for black characters in animation going forward, if I have to be honest.
100%. You see Echo, who's my favorite character, and I don't know if it's because I have a little boy, but Echo is just the most beautiful young man. He's just so beautiful. And the fact that his features are the features of a black man and his hair is the hair of a black man, it's great. It's just so beautiful. And I love that they put so much thought and detail into that. And I think that that on top of the fact that all of these characters have had some sort of big time childhood trauma, I think that's why we have such a beautiful fandom. You know, we have everybody in our fandom, and everybody knows that they belong in our fandom because they all see a representation of themselves in this show at some point.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. There's a line that Mel said in episode 1 where she talks about her place in the Medarda family, talking about how, she isn't the most, she's the poorest out of them all. She was ousted from her family. And I love how in season 2 she shows that she is the wealthiest, right? Not in terms of riches or whatever, but in terms of spirit, heart, mind, and body and power. I'm curious, as someone who has lived so much life and has a family of her own, and has been through her own journey in the entertainment industry, what was the most inspiring part about telling Mel's journey from season 1 to season 2?
Oh boy. I think the most inspiring part was not having at any point to argue with the writers or directors about how I wanted to portray a Black woman. That she was portrayed as graceful and strong and soft and smart and thoughtful and considerate and conscientious. Just so many beautiful, positive, feminine, and soft traits, which I don't think is a way that we get to see Black women a lot, and is the way I perceive most Black women. I think, Black girl magic is real,
A hundred percent, a
and Mel
hundred percent.
personifies that. And to be able to just get a script and read it and be like, yeah, okay, here we go. Strong woman who doesn't have to be, you know, like the A word, like aggressive, always pushed to look like, oh, this like scary aspect to Black women. No, there isn't. That's a myth. We can be strong in all ways. And even when we're being assertive, correct A word, it's not a scary thing. So I just loved being able to play a character who's of which the writer's intention was always that way. Their intention and their journey for her was always to stay on the side of holding on to her morals and her ethics and trying to do the best for everyone involved, but doing it in a way that didn't make her hard. She'd been through so much and none of it has made her hard. And yeah, I just really love that about Mel.
Ah, someone bust out the onions, man. Hold on, I'm about to. No, that's a beautiful answer, and I'm so happy that you, as a Black woman, got that experience.
Yeah,
We oftentimes hear so many hardships about being a Black woman, not only in the entertainment industry, but just
every
in the
day.
world every day. Especially with this current administration in America. It's very that's a whole episode in itself, but
Yeah,
it's um it's very frustrating, you know
it
and I'm
is.
glad that you have an example of how it needs to be and should always be done.
Yes.
Echo and Bessa and Mel, and just how much care and love you could tell has been put into their character arcs and who they are is
Yes.
like, wow, like y'all really did y'all big on.
Yeah,
And for them
I
to
know, right?
not, and for the Medardas not to be in the games, for that to be just come out of the minds of Riot themselves, I mean, holy crap. And just to stay there for a little bit, what was your reaction to see the Medardas make it to the game after the show?
It's so wonderful. Like it shows that the fans enjoy them, and it means a lot. It means a lot because I know that League of Legends means a lot to most of the Arcane fans. So it's an honor. It's great.
Do you get to voice her in the game,
Mm.
or oh,
Sorry, it's my parent calling me. Um, yes, yes, I do.
that's awesome? Because I just
Mm.
wanted to make sure that you did, because I know sometimes you could do them for the show, and sometimes they don't bring you back for the game for whatever reason,
Well,
or
I think
vice
sometimes
versa.
they try to, but a lot of actors say no. A lot of actors don't like to do video games because it's not, they can be very repetitive. And I love doing it. Listen, I like to work and I see something fun in pretty much every aspect of this industry. So if someone wants me to do something, I'm like, cool, let's do it. It'll be fun.
Man, what there's a lot of moments with Mel in season 2 that stick out to me. One is the scene where she gets her power, but I really love the show's commentary on family and family trauma, particularly with the Medardas, because we see this kind of hot and cold relationship with her and Mbessa, and I think that's really interesting. And I'm curious with you, because I know, because I'm friends with a lot of people who come from across the seas and stuff, and they talk about the importance of the family network and the importance of community.
Mhm.
So I'm curious, as someone whose relationship with their family might be different as opposed to someone like Mel, what was the most interesting thing that you saw them take the direction with Mel and Ambessa?
I think one of the through lines of Arcane is the idea of chosen family, which is something that I really agree with. I think that chosen family, honestly, is more important than the family that you are born into. Of course, those people, you choose to stay with them, or you should. It should be a choice. Some people do it out of obligation. I don't think you should. Um,
Absolutely.
Anybody in my family, like that I was born into, who I'm still close to, that's a choice. There are people in my family I have boundaries with because it's not healthy. And I love that Mel kept her boundaries. And Mel has very obviously tried to create a chosen family that she she cares for deeply. She really does always try to do what is going to be best for everybody. And I think it's because she feels like she was mistreated and abandoned. So she doesn't want anyone else to feel that way. She wants everyone else to feel considered and a part of everything. And I do relate to that feeling. I, there are people in my family who've made me feel very othered, which can happen when you're in an interracial family. Like neither side wants to claim you sometimes. And it's important to me to never make anybody else feel that way. And I really feel that Mel has that in her. And I love that they had her stay true to protecting herself so that she can be who she wants to be. I thought that they did that very well while also showing you can see through her anger that she's still affected and hurt by it, but she always manages to get back to herself. It's
Oh my god.
I think
Yes.
we've all felt that.
Oh man. You got like 2 hours?
Yeah, right.
It is such a deep and complex and relatable issue, and like I said, I think I said this the other day, but the name of the game with the arts, or just anything in life in general, is connection. And this show very much emphasizes that, and I love that. And I love Mel and Bessa's final scene together.
Mm,
I think that was really powerful.
yeah.
You could tell that she wanted to still at the end try to save her mother, but it was just, it happens.
Yeah.
You have to to let him go. Do you
No.
think? Because I thought in the season that she was going to be corrupted. I thought Mel was, and it just goes back to what you were saying in the beginning. Uh, that even through all the hardships and toughness, she still keeps that softness and elegance and that grace through it all. If you had to point to a scene that perfectly describes Mel to someone who's never heard of the character or the
Mhm.
world, what scene would you show them?
Oh my God.
That's a hard one. There's too many. There's a lot. There's a lot.
There's so many.
Yeah.
I think it. I can't think of a specific one, but I think it would be one. Oh no, I was gonna say I
Uh
think it
oh.
would be one where she's sitting around with her fellow counselors because she works so hard to listen to everyone and be fair, but then she does have these conversations with Jace as well, where she's trying to explain why she's doing what she wants to do. So I don't know, but it would be one of those where she is very obviously listening well, but taking her time and choosing her words wisely and still being, and not getting heated about anything, still being respectful. But oh God, I couldn't pick one, I don't think.
It's okay. I can't either. I was just hoping you would be able to. You're in 14 episodes, which is so lovely. You're in like a majority of the show, which I love so much.
Yeah.
And I love. What was your reaction to seeing Mel's role in season two get just like more emphasized and more just attention placed for season two?
It was mind blowing. I wasn't expecting that. And I had I had a little inkling of it because they told me, oh, she's, going to find her powers and blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't said in a way where I understood the gravitas of it.
Yeah.
I also didn't understand how intense. I also heard, oh, her mother's coming, blah, 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 because they were casting. And so I knew that they were looking for someone. And golly, but is Ellen amazing. But I I just didn't understand the gravity of all of it. Like it had been explained to me, but when we really got to it, there were, I mean, most of the scenes with Ambessa I had to do several times because every time I did it, they were like, almost there. They'd like go, they were like, great, perfect. They'd go and they'd come back and be like, didn't quite get there. You gotta like, because
Oh.
that line that she walks between losing it but keeping her like losing her composure and keeping her composure is so thin. And I I have to make her emotional, but not too emotional. But you have to know that it's there. So they kept
Mm,
pushing and they didn't stop until it was exactly what they wanted, which I love. I'll keep doing it until you're happy.
same.
Um, I didn't realize how deep it was. It was deep.
What was your reaction to seeing her get those powers though? I can't lie to you. I was screaming. I audibly
Yeah.
screamed at the screen. I was
I
like,
I I just I was just tingling. I was just tingling. I got tears in my eyes. It just I don't know, there's something, it's like when you see someone get a standing ovation. I always feel that way too. It's like just when someone gets seen for who they are, like that's my favorite thing. And to see that, like just really see who she is and oh, I loved it.
and the animation this season is just like up to another ante.
Oh,
So to
good.
see her come out of that is like, I just saw an angel, y'all. Did y'all see that? I saw an
Yes.
angel.
Yes, that's right. Yes. Yeah.
Obvious, of
Beautiful.
course, Arcane is this the season and the story they told is finished, but of course there's more story. There's I believe there was a spin-off announced, and then there was the books. And by the way, have you read the Mbessa book that came
Not
out?
yet. Not yet. Again, I've got a 5-year-old.
I was about to say, y'all, mommy time is full time business, y'all. So y'all gotta thank Toks for coming out whenever she do. Y'all have to, cause it's a full time job. So yes, again, thank you for joining me. As someone who is such a fan, I posted this on my story, but what you do vocally and just what you bring intrinsically to the character is perfection. You know, I can't see anyone else do it. And I think I see that a lot with the people in Arcane, is that their cast is
Yes.
so expertly. You know, there's a lot of time and dedication and love put into the show from the ground
Yes.
up. From the music choices. Got it. Okay. Before I get talking about the future with the character, the music, I'm
So
so
good.
curious. What is your take on the music, and how do you feel about like the musical choices and stuff?
I liked the soundtrack and the instrumental music the first season. Second season is next level. Next level. Like, there's not a song, I don't think, in there or a piece of music that didn't like really like get in me. Like, I could just listen to the piece on its own and not even have to watch anything. And it's like, oh, like so good. So good.
It is wonderful. Oh my gosh.
That song, I'm not great with the names of songs, but that song that Powder and Echo dance to, that
Can do you
song,
remember? Do you remember it? If you sing the lyric, I'll probably. Do you remember like a
it's the
lyric?
it's the French one.
Oh yeah, now I'm cooked. My fault. Never mind. Oh yes, yes, yes. Wait, wait,
Oh,
wait. Oh wait, that song. wait, wait.
that song. Anytime I listen to it, it does something to me. Like, I'm just like, oh god, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, the
Musical
music is fantastic.
perfection. There's so much that Arcane set up for the future. There's so much story left to tell. Um, so I'm curious. Obviously, there's a future there, and I don't know how much you could talk about or how much you could say, but going forward, what would you like to see them do and add to Mel and the Medarda legacy moving forward?
I mean, if I'm being completely honest about what I know, as far as I know, you don't, they're not included in anything in the future as of now. So I don't, I don't know. But I would, but what I want, I mean, listen, I'm a hippie socialist. So what I want is not interesting to watch. Like, I want to watch Mel, like, you know, r- be like, president basically of both worlds, and have everyone come together and have her show up and like just do her black girl magic when she needs to fix something. But that's boring. So like, that's kind of what
Not for
I
me.
want.
Hold on. Let me get a show of that. Let me get a show of
Right.
that. If
And
I
then
get to hear you more, Mel, it's a great day. I
yeah,
mean, like
and like, and just see how. I think it would be so interesting too if we really want to be inclusive and continue. I mean, I think I would love to see what would happen if she and Jay stayed together, but Victor was also a part of the whole thing. Like, if there was some way that he could be brought back into it, like in an ideal, lovely world, because that Victor Jace connection it's transcendent, you know,
literally.
right? And like, yeah, Jace and Mel have something good, and then there's also like that you just cannot. There's no way to replicate what what Jason and Victor have. Um, yeah, I mean, I would love to see what the minds at Riot would do. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I got you. We'll be here for the ride, and I'll be here to interview you again when the
Nice.
moment ever presents
Yeah, I'll be
itself.
on time. I won't be out in my yard messing around.
Don't worry, don't worry. I was thinking about this the other day because like I said, I'm just so. Yes, I'm getting a chat question soon, y'all. Um, but I'm so enamored with your talent and just black entertainers in general. And my question for you is: there's a lot of people out there now who would denigrate your talent just because you're black. They would call you a DEI hire. They would say you're unfit to be in this role. This role should have been given to someone else. As a black woman, as a black entertainer, as a black mother, and most importantly, as a black woman, what do you say to people out there who have such notions about who you are and what you bring to the table?
I would say let's go all the way back to Richard Pryor and let's look at the roles that he booked that were written for white men at a time where there was no DEI. Let's take that to Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon. Same thing. The casting director fought to get him on there because they didn't want a black actor doing it, but he ended up being the best choice out of everyone. It was written for a
Yeah.
white guy. Let's go to Eddie Murphy, Beverly Hills Cop, and almost everything that he did. Let's go to Will Smith. Let's go to Halle Berry. There have been so
Goats.
many black actors, Whoopi
Icons.
Goldberg, before any of the DEI, whatever, who casting directors, producers, and directors knew were the best choice for the job, even though the job was written with a white actor in mind. Now, let's bring me into it. Most of the roles that I have ever done, most were not written for a black woman. And most of the rooms that I have sat in before I've gone in to test for something or for a producer session, it's been me, the black girl, and a bunch of white girls. And I was the best one for the job. That's what I say.
See, standing on business for real. Like, I mean, there's like I I literally can go on a whole lengthy rant about some of the phenomenal black talents. God rest his soul, but someone in the chat mentioned Chadwick Boseman. I
Oh,
mean, that still
oh,
doesn't sit right with
no,
me. Like
I know.
that, it just such a like. I wish people who say Black Panther is overrated understood what that film meant to us as a people. Like
Yes,
seeing that was an event.
yes,
Like there's a
yes.
reason that is one of the highest grossing films of all time. And then Denzel is gonna be in the third one.
Oh,
Like,
I missed
oh my,
Denzel. Sorry. Most of Denzel's movies, too. Let's not forget Mr. Denzel
Denzel,
and Morgan
right? Like,
Freeman.
oh my, like when you name those names, quality, like I said with yourself, quality isn't promised, it's guaranteed.
Yes.
It's just the talent just rises all these projects to greater heights. And I wish that people would stop having this stupid ass notion about this. All this is so dumb to me. All this is so
Yeah.
dumb. This doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense to me. I don't get it. Why there's
Well,
some people
people are
here who
threatened. People are threatened. Listen, Black excellence is real. People are threatened. And look, you want to look into most of the innovations and the inventors in history, Black people. The toilet you're sitting on, the vacuum cleaner you're using,
the
the
microphone we
cell phone that
use.
you're using. Black people, Black people, Black people. Like literally, look up Black inventors and you'll see. Black people are very innovative. We are very adaptable. We don't really stop. We'll just detour. We don't complain. We just do it because we can't. We don't have the luxury to complain. We don't have the luxury to do it half-assed. We don't have the luxury to try it again and again and again because of the way people think about us. So when we come to get it done and get it done right.
100%. And that's my mentality with a lot of what I do, whether it's for my interviews here or for my short films or for my acting. It's like I don't have time,
Yeah.
there's so many interviewers out here that you could have spoke to, but you chose to speak with me. So I have to bring my A game. I have to prove that you picked a good person to do an interview with. I have to show that.
And you
And
have.
thank you so much. I really want to do this, and I want to represent not only myself but my culture correctly. I come
Mm,
from two cultures. I'm Black and Puerto Rican. I got to represent. I got to show out,
right.
and like you got to show out, and it's just so amazing to see how far you've come, and I'm so excited to see where you go next. I'm sure there's tons of projects that you can't talk about yet that you're excited to talk about. Do you have time for just a few fan questions before I
Yeah,
let
of
you go?
course.
Awesome. All right, guys. So I know you guys. There's 100 people in the chat right now, Toks. I want you to know how many people love you. There's
Hi.
100 people in the chat right now. I told y'all I gotta eat first. I did eat, so I'm gonna let y'all ask y'all's questions. Someone said, "Can Mel cook?" So
I don't know, actually. I'm not sure.
there we go. Favorite voice line of Mel in League of Legends.
Oh boy. God, I did them all so long ago. Um, I do have a favorite, which I remembered the first season. It's in the first season. Um, yeah, it's not going to come to me. You have to remember, guys, also, I recently did chemo and it erased like half of my memory. So I don't remember things so well anymore, but it might come to me while we're here.
Okay. What kind of mom would Mel be?
Oh, wow. I think she'd be a really good mom. I think she'd be one of those mothers who wants to, well, like what I'm doing with my kid basically is I want to make sure that there's no toxic masculinity and he knows how to communicate and regulate his emotions, but I want to do it without erasing his personality and who he is. I have no expectations when it comes to who he is and his personality and how he presents himself or how he chooses to present himself, as long as he's respectful and knows how to communicate. So I think that's pretty much the way she would do it. I also just I want to make sure that he understands that he's not the only person on this planet. She would raise children who understood community and thinking about everybody.
Beautiful. This person took my question, but I'm gonna let you get this one off. Is here we go. Is there anything you would have liked to see with Mel that wasn't explored in season 2?
Oh wow. Uh, I don't I don't know. I mean, I would love to see where she goes with her power, like what she ends up doing with it, how she chooses to use it. I don't think she's just going to like continue with life the way it was before. So, in season 2, she's discovering it and kind of like it's coming to her in these moments where she needs it immediately. But I'd love to see how she uses it as a leader.
Do you have any insight on what happened to Mel during or after leaving? I can't say that right. The Aquila room. I hope I said that right. If I didn't, y'all can roast me. It's fine. The scenes we have in Act 2 are at most a day long, but she was missing for 4 to 5 months.
I'm not, I think there was a lot of, I think she's somehow managed not to go mad, honestly. You know, I think that's what they were trying, where they were trying to push her to make her weak. And I think that it was probably days upon weeks of what we saw. You know what I mean? Just, um, and of course, you'd have no concept of how long it was.
Yeah, if I was in that room, trust I would not be the same person.
Mm-mm.
Shout out to Arcane for keeping Mel so well
Right?
composed. You mentioned your love for Mel's black hair. Is there any specific hairstyle you would have loved to have seen on her?
I mean, no, I love everything that they did with with her
Same
hair.
here.
And I also loved there's a part in in season one with she and Jace are getting, and she's got her hair out, it's just nice and big and curly. Oh, love that. But no, I think they did a great job with everything that they did with her hair. It's just they put so much care into it.
What do you think Mel's life purpose is after everything that happened?
I think her life purpose is to create a world of equality and equity in which every living person around her gets what they need. I really think she wants to preside over a city where everyone gets opportunity and everyone is taken care of.
Do you have any insight on how Mel may have felt on the ship back home on her way back at the end of season 2?
Oh boy, a lot. Like probably some trepidation, but some relief, some anxiety, but excitement. There's a lot going on.
Mm. All right, guys. Last fan question, and I'm gonna ask my final one and send Miss uh a lot. I'm tripping. My mind is
Just say
off.
it. You just get through it and it'll be right.
Olagundoye. There you
There you
go.
go.
I'm so. Oh my goodness, Josh, what's wrong with you?
You got it. There's nothing
Uh,
wrong with you.
last one. Question: what do you think Mel's next step slash journey is in the Neurosis spinoff?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if she's in it. I don't know anything. They don't tell me anything. So as far as I know, nothing. I don't know. Do you know something I don't know? Can you
I
tell me if
wish.
you do?
I wish. Actually, nah. I like this question. Hold on. This a banger. Hold on. This might be the one that I really like. How does Mel feel about being the wolf in Mbessa's eyes?
That's a very interesting question. Possibly a little bit of frustration because she doesn't feel fully seen by her. To not feel fully seen by your parent
I wouldn't wish
is
that
a
on anyone.
it's frustrating. It's like you made me, you don't know me. But I do think that Ambessa does know her child and she does know what's in there. And Mel does have wolf in there, but not all wolves are, not all wolves go in for the kill, I think, is what we learned. She does have that in there,
Ooh.
but it's like that, the indigenous idea of having the two wolves, the wolf that's full of goodness and love and the wolf that's the opposite of that, and which wolf do you feed? And the way most people tell it, you only feed the good one, but you have to feed both. Because if you starve one, what happens to an animal when they're starving, right? They become, really aggressive. So I think that she does have that in her. She doesn't like to acknowledge it, but she uses it clearly, when she finds her
Mm.
powers. So
Y'all, Toks dropping bars on us. What? Y'all ain't know she was a poet now. Anyways, this is my final question for you. And just before I get to it, like I said, this has been such a fun evening. Thank you so much
yeah,
for
this is
joining me and
great.
giving me so much of your time.
Of course.
My final question. There's so much talk around the world about there's a lot going on in the world right now. I feel like a lot isn't even the proper word to
Mm.
describe a lot of it. And you've been very much an advocate for so many people, indigenous people, queer people, all tons of people. If you had a mic
Mm.
and all 7 billion people around the world could hear you right now, what would your message be to the entire world to get them through what seems like such a hopeless time?
Ooh, wow.
Save the
I mean,
hardest one for last.
I would say please sit down and think very well about how you wish to move through this world and who you would like to find along the way. And then try to encompass both of those people into who you are. And keep that goodness, keep that charity, keep that understanding, and try to remember that even though some people seem unreasonable, well, are unreasonable, are cruel, are hateful, that we are all doing our best. And I don't necessarily believe in, when they go low, we go high. Sometimes you gotta go low. But I
100%.
do, as we saw the other day in the Oval Office, believe that if you are the one who can keep your composure, that in the end, you win. So keep your composure, keep your boundaries, but keep your kindness.
Have a look, carry a little bit of Mel with you through these
Yeah.
trying times, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
keep your kindness.
ladies and gentlemen, that has been my interview with Toks Olagundoye. Thank you so much for joining me. Is there
Thanks
anything
for
you want to
having
plug?
me.
Absolutely, it's been an absolute joy and a pleasure. Is there anything you want to plug or promote before we head off for today?
There's nothing that I can right now, but
Ah,
we've got 2 seasons of Frasier out if you want to watch them. They're very fun. And I
love
actually
it.
always highly recommend that people go back and watch The Neighbors, a show that I was on about 10 years ago. It's really funny and it's got a lot of commentary in it about the way the world is. Um, so yeah, but no, thank you so much for having me. And if anyone ever wants to find me on social media, I'm not great at it, but you can find me at Toks Olagundoye on Instagram.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Hope you have a lovely day. Everyone, please stay safe and please take care. And I will see y'all next time. Peace, love, safety. Until next time.